I don't think there's any part of the writing process that feels as exciting and as freeing as when you start a new project. These Today and yesterday have been probably some of the most exciting days that I've had, probably during this whole like write every day. So of the past almost 2 months here, probably the most exciting day has been just the past couple days, just because you're starting a new project. And whenever you start a writing project, that's always where the magic is. That's always where like the initial spark, the energy, the motivation, that drive to really get things done starts. It seems like the longer a project goes on, the easier it is to procrastinate. The more you find yourself trying to avoid the work. But those first few days, that feeling you get of just starting a new project, there's nothing that ever detracts from that. It's one of those things. There's not really any kind of distraction that can ever really stop you from starting. It's always after, like that week in, potentially 2 weeks after you start a project, when that doubt, and not just the doubt, but when the procrastination and the issues that you see coming forward with the story start coming in. Because whenever you start a project, it's always the best, right? Like whenever you begin any sort of story, it's always going to be like the best story, the one that's going to win the awards, the greatest story that's ever been written. In your mind, you got this amazing thing. And the moment you put your first word down and you make it real, you always diminish what's in your head. That always happens. So as amazing as you make a story in your head, the moment you start putting words down, you've already diminished it in a sense, because unless you are probably like the greatest writer in the world, what you conceive in your head for a story, it's what you write never exactly matches that. It always seems to come, I think, in many ways, it always seems to come just a little bit short. It never quite matches up to what you want. I think for me, it seems like I get like 80% of what I envision my story ends up becoming, and so whenever you start out, you've always got that grand vision, you get that grand excitement, and you start penning these words, and it feels like magic. It feels good, and as it goes on, you just it's. I think most of the issue and most of the procrastination with writing and the disillusionment becomes when the further you go along with the story, the more you realize that what you are going to end with is not going to exactly match what you had envisioned. And so the disillusionment usually comes with just accepting reality. It's the accepting of the story is not going to exactly be what I want, but it's going to carry the spirit of what I want. And so I'm kind of in that very nice blissful sort of honeymoon phase at the moment here with this short story. I'm sure, like I said, I'm not going to get more than the first draft of this thing done before I jump back into editing the novel there. And then what I'll do is I might do some revisions on the side, but this story basically is not one that's going to be seen anytime soon. So that's where I'm at today. It was a good session here. I had to sort of slow myself down in a sense. Like my word count on my first days of writing are always usually the highest ones, and I've had to sort of limit myself because I'll often find myself racing ahead. I'll start typing out paragraph to paragraph and the faster you type with that, the less you're being conscious about what you're putting on the page. And for me, that's when kind of the bad writing comes in. So I've had to sort of limit myself, sort of take my time with it. You're seeing here a session where I was my second session of the day, where I was getting in, a couple hundred words there. I was pretty much on fire, but a lot of the other time was just me looking at the computer trying to think of what to write, and sort of playing with different ideas about what I could write. So it wasn't a challenge of not knowing what to put on the page. It was more of, I can go like a million different directions with a story. Which one should I choose? Which is a great feeling to have. It's much better to always have too many options to write than not have any that are really good. But yeah, so got, again, a little over 400 words in today. Gonna keep on pushing this here, and again, hopefully this first draft of this short story will be done, again, probably sometime around early next week, and then, like I said, I'll start moving into revising the novel.